All right, guys, how's it going? So I have been to the cafe and I have reviewed today's Spanish football dailies for you. I have, yes. I was up there very early this morning. I think I was there about 7:30 or something like that, just after 7. I've been waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm absolutely knackered. Don't know why. Don't know what's wrong with me. But yes, I have reviewed those Spanish football dailies for you. Now, we don't review those papers and go, oh my God, that must be true. We don't take what they say as gospel. But the grown-ups like to say what they're claiming, you know, regarding, say, Zubimendi, Trent Alexander-Arnold, whatever, and compare it to what we're told or fed by the Liverpool media, right? So we just like to see, and like I always say, you know, like, listen to that, listen to this, and then make your own opinions up, all right? Now, primarily we're sort of like reviewing the Spanish papers at the moment to see what they're saying about Trent and Real Madrid. But there's other things. Zubimendi, what's he called? Mamadashvili, you know, that's incoming from Valencia. You know, Luis Diaz and Barcelona. So we keep an eye on them for, you know, basically for the Liverpool connection, but also maybe for former Liverpool players like my boy Iago Aspas, right? And he's not in today's update. You'll be glad to know, I'm sure. I love Aspas, mate. I think he's fucking great. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through what things I think you might find of interest. I can tell you right now, to save you watching the video, right, if you haven't got much time or just don't want to sit and listen to me fucking waffling on about these Spanish friends of ours, right, I can tell you right now, there's nothing to do with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Real Madrid. There's nothing to do with Luis Diaz and Barcelona. I don't think there's anything to do with Mamadashvili because Valencia didn't play last night. They've not touched on Mo Salah today or Virgil van Dijk. It's just a general summary of what's happening over here. Real Sociedad did play last night, so Zubimendi was in action. So let's get to it, right? Okay, so Real Madrid secured a slim win in the King's Cup last night. This was the other semi-final, first leg. There was one the night before. Remember, Barcelona 4, Atletico Madrid 4. What a game that was. Last night wasn't such a high intensity like battle, if you like. But Real Madrid secured a slim 1-0 win at Real Sociedad in the King's Cup semi-final first leg. Kylian Mbappe wasn't involved because he had to have a tooth out before the game. Now, there was a sour point in this game. I saw this video today. A Real Sociedad fan was caught on camera making a monkey gesture towards Vinicius. And, with his, you know what a monkey gesture is, right? Incidents like that seem to crop up quite a bit in Spanish football, which is concerning, obviously. I deplore racism. I can't fucking stand it, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand the mentality of it. And people like that, well, I can't say what I want to say. I get into trouble. People like that should be removed from football. There you go. So, it's shit. And I don't like it. Anyway, so the game there was also additional problems in the game. The game was stopped at one point due to chants. A number of Real Sociedad fans were chanting, Asensio, die. Now, this incident was heard by the referee. The other thing that I just mentioned wasn't, or the same thing would have applied. But this incident was heard by the referee. Now, regulations in Spain stipulate that the referees have to activate a protocol against hatred, if you like. So he had to stop the match. He had to have a message displayed on the video scoreboard and an announcement read over, the tannoy, the loudspeaker system or whatever. In other words, like, knock it off, dickhead, so sort of thing, you know what I mean? Now, some social media posts on X have suggested that the chants might have been triggered by a violent tackle Asensio made. But, most feel that the reason for the fans' hostility appears to be the player's current investigation by Spanish authorities. Now, it could be that he made this bad tackle, and then that's one of the reasons why they targeted him. But anyway, as discussed previously on here, I've brought this to your attention before. Asensio is alleged to have shared a sexually explicit video involving a minor, which was originally recorded by 2 former Real Madrid youth players. It's a serious allegation, of course. It sparked outrage amongst football fans. And Asensio has faced, similar chance at other stadiums recently because of that. I think he was hauled off at half-time. I didn't watch the game. I would have watched it usually, but obviously Liverpool were playing. But this is the first time a game's been stopped due to targeted harassment of him. All right, so yeah, it was a game that there was a lot of fucking stuff going off last night in that game, without a doubt. Zubimendi, now he picked up his usual 1 star out of 3 rating from Marca. I did see a couple of clips in the game. I flicked over to it a couple of times in breaks and stuff like that. And I saw him put in a couple of decent tackles, to be honest. I thought he looked composed. He looked, you know what I mean? But I didn't see his entire performance, obviously. So anyway, Marca gave him a 1 star. AS gave him a 2 star rating, which again is what they usually tend to give him. Marca said, at the moment, it seems to be 1 star from them and 2 stars from them. Now, Takefusa Kubo. I always say Kubo, but I think it's Kubo. He received a 2 star rating from both publications for his performances last night. And I was looking at his frame again last night. Do you know what I mean? It's often a talking point as to whether he would be strong enough, for the English game. Maybe he's too small for the Premier League or whatever. And I thought last night, he reminded me a bit like Michael Owen. Like that's that kind of frame. Maybe he could do with a few more pork pies, to thicken him up a bit. I felt like he looked the part. I've watched him a few times. He's an exciting player. When he does deliver, he's as Brendan Rodgers would say, it's fantastic. But last night, he was denied by some of the simplest of tackles. So he was trying to be showboaty and that, trying to get, and then just a defender just put his foot out and stop him dead. You know what I mean? He didn't look very good at certain times. But anyway, I didn't watch the whole match, so maybe it's, maybe I can't comment on his entire performance. Well, I can't comment on his entire performance, so we'll leave that to Marca and AS. Marca had an article today discussing, they were talking about this week's Kings Cup games, right? Copa del Rey games, and that being one of them we were just discussing, the 2 semi-finals. And they published an article and it said, how beautiful is football without VAR? Which was specifically in relation to those cup games. And they wrote, the cup has produced 2 great matches that had a common denominator. The VAR did not come into play for nonsense even once, and football was grateful for that. Now, I don't know about you. I personally can't stand VAR. It's taken away a lot of enjoyment for me from the game. I can't stand it, seeing a player score, and then it's like taking away that emotion and stuff. I know it can work in your favour, but it's just taken away, when referees used to make decisions, it was like, that was a good decision, that was a bad decision. We're getting that with VAR. It's just fucking pointless. I hate it. I can't stand it. And football, for me, whether you agree with me or not, has always been about controversies and we was robbed kind of thing. Going to school, college, work, Monday, taking piss out of each other and that, And, it was over the fucking line, and all that. And it was never offside. And, blah, blah, blah. And then when you get that team again, and it could, if it was a cup game, you might not face that team for years. It could be 10 years later, and you're still remembering that fucking goal they scored that was definitely offside 10 years ago. And you're out for revenge for that. That, for me, is football. You know what I mean? You win some, you lose some. Yes, same applies with VAR, but I can't fucking stand it. Valencia's young centre-backs. I want to talk to you about Valencia's centre-backs. Now, Jarek Gasiorowski. His contract has been extended until June 2027 at Valencia. This is an extension that was already agreed in his previous contract, so it happened automatically. Now, from my own knowledge, DKB, this isn't in the papers today, I can tell you that Liverpool scouts have watched him this season. But that wasn't a specific deployment for him. I've gone into this on detail on the members' website. There's a write-up about that in the Executive Lounge Scouting Department, I think it is. And I also made a video on here for channel members about this recently. So Liverpool scouts basically have scouted him, but it wasn't an initial deployment. Now, let me explain. So Liverpool had been tipped off about his teammate, Christian Mosquera, right? He's 20. a right-footed centre-back who can play right-back as well. He's under contract until 2026. But while Liverpool have been watching him, they apparently saw some good performances from Gasiorowski, whatever he's called, who is a left-footed centre-back who can also play left-back. Have I made sense there? So Liverpool were looking at Mosquera, right? And while they've been tracking him this season or watching him this season, don't give me any of that monitoring FC stuff, right? This is real. This isn't someone trying to clickbait or make out something, do you know what I mean, right? Monitoring does happen, right? I know people take the piss, monitoring FC, and you know what I mean, but this is genuine, guys. So Liverpool scouts have been watching this Mosquera, but while watching him, they've liked the other kid as well. That's it. That's all it is to it. So now, Valencia have been struggling, as you know, this season. But those two have apparently been putting in decent performances. But I did laugh at a post on the members' website by one of our VIP members who recently said, "Can you imagine Mamardashvili's face on his first day of training at Liverpool, thinking to himself, finally, I might actually get some decent protection this season, when we tell him we signed the two centre-backs who were in front of him at Valencia?" Well, I couldn't stop fucking laughing at that. Oh, dear me, it made me laugh. Mark, a touch on Liverpool's win last night. They run with the headline, "The Premier League is over." They write, in what turned out to be just another day at the office, Liverpool finished Newcastle in 2 blows. 2 goals, obviously. And leaves the Premier League practically decided. They are now 13 points ahead of Arsenal, who, even if they win the game they have less to play in, would be far behind Slot's men. You know what I mean there, don't you? Liverpool were not overwhelming, as they have been on other occasions, but they were superior enough to win comfortably. The Premier League has a champion, and all that remains to be seen is when he will be mathematically confirmed. That should be there, okay? Translation there, right? AS, they reported on Liverpool's win and point out the huge lead that the Reds have at the top of the table. And Sport also touch on the impressive performance by the Reds. And that, my friends, sums up today's roundup of the Spanish football dailies for you. I review 3 Spanish football dailies. I think I'm going to start getting Mundo Deportivo as well. Makes 4, which makes more effort, more fucking time. But I think it might be an idea to include the 4th. I mentioned this in my morning briefing today. I think that, I've been thinking, once Trent's future's resolved, once Mamardashvili comes in, once Zubimendi finally sorts out his future. Can you hear the dog in the background moaning? I thought to myself, do I need to continue, reviewing the Spanish football dailies? And will you guys still want that? You need to give me your feedback. I mentioned it on a live stream yesterday. Jeff Patenga said, no, keep doing them. People said, no, keep doing them. We talk about other Liverpool players that, former Liverpool players that are out in Spain. Obviously, Alonso comes up occasionally. My boy Iago Aspas, Arbeloa, various transfer links as well from time to time. But I think that if I stopped reviewing them, and I would then lose knowledge of what's happening in the Spanish game. So 4 or 5 months into next season, Liverpool are linked with his player, or he's always in the press, blah, 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 or he's always linked with Liverpool. And people say, is that true? And I go, I don't follow it anymore. So I think it's important for me maybe just to have that knowledge for you. I think it helps the channel and coptalk.com. The more I know, the better, I think, for you guys. And I'll be honest with you, it gets me out in the morning. I get up, I don't just sit outside and have a cup of tea like I used to do with the dog and fucking toss it off until I should start work, Normally in a typical week, I'm sat in front of these things all fucking week, every day of the week. And I very rarely leave the house. But since I've started reviewing the Spanish football dailies for you, I feel like, I'm up. I've got to go and do something. And I feel like people are getting something here that they don't get anywhere else. Do you know what I mean? Some cheeky fucker yesterday said, this channel's getting a bit boring. All you do is read the newspapers. I make one fucking video about what's in the Spanish press for people that are interested. One fucking video out of thousands of videos on here. And you're going to say that, you fucking numpty. They didn't hang around long on this channel, guys. They've gone. There's an exclusive remedy. If you don't like knowing what's in the Spanish press, if you don't care about Zubimendi or whatever, don't watch the fucking videos. If you don't like my style, if you don't like my content, if you don't like this YouTube channel, fucking leave. Do you know what I mean? He was like, and I've unsubscribed. Don't worry, I've unsubscribed. Because I basically told him he was a fucking clown. You know, what you're talking about. I do one video, you know, in the morning to try and help people. You know, it's like, it's not an airport. No one gives a fuck if you're leaving. You don't have to announce your departure. Just fucking go, and the grown-ups will continue talking about what we want. Of course, there's certain topics on here some people don't like about. Of course, people haven't got time to watch long videos, which is why I try and say at the beginning, there's no point watching this one, guys. There's fuck all in it about Trent or fucking whatever. All right, so I know the majority of you, you know, good people, mature people that just want to know what's fucking going on. And you can form your own opinions, can't you? Do you know what I mean? So thanks to you guys for keeping it real. For giving me feedback. I think I will continue with the Spanish dailies. I may even put them on another channel or something. I don't know. I think it's fairly obvious. I think when we sort out Trent's future and Zubimendi, whatever, Mamadashvili, when he comes in, and you know, we don't need to watch those subjects anymore. I think it'll be fairly obvious, you know, if there's no real links between Liverpool and Spanish clubs or whatever, the videos will just be titled Latest from Spain, won't they? Do you know what I mean? And people go, I don't need to know about that. All right, I'm off, guys. If you do appreciate this video and my efforts at all, and I do put a lot of effort into these videos, believe it or not, please do thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. And if you want to buy me a coffee for when I go to the cafe in the morning, hit the super thanks button. There's a love out under the video, and I'll give a shout out to you in tomorrow morning's morning briefing. All right, enjoy the day. I don't think there was anything really. Was there anything really in this update that to do with Liverpool? I don't think so, really. Maybe Zubimendi or something, you know. But we'll see what happens with his future in the summer. Won't we? I'll be glad to see the end of that, really, because that's one that just bores me a little bit. But you know, I want to see what happens to him. Because I'm like the big mystery. Is he going to go to Arsenal? You know, is he going to wait for Real Madrid? Or will Liverpool reignite their interest in him? You know, we just don't fucking know, do we, guys? But at least if you're watching these videos, you can see what these fuckers are saying each day of the week. And we'll take it from there. All right, guys, thanks for watching, man. I appreciate you. Cheers.